The Curse of Oak Island. Team is visited by Nova Scotia's top politician, and the drill finally digs into the money pit. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the giant oscillator drill finally began turning at the money pit, and the team started making friends in high places after a visit by Nova Scotia's top politician, Premier Tim Houston. After weeks of hearing about preparations for the big dig, drilling finally began on last night's episode. However, we had to wait until the last few minutes of the show before the giant oscillator finally began turning. Unfortunately, we'll all have to wait at least another week before anything is revealed. Marty Lagina assembled all the troops at the money pit and gave another one of his trademark emotional speeches. He thanked the guys for all their hard work and reminded them that they were part of something special. The first 10-foot caisson to be driven into the ground was christened the Fellowship 1, or TF1 for short, and each member of the team signed the can, and some added a personal message such as "To all who were here," and "Digging for answers," and "For my brothers." Once this pageantry had come to an end, the honor of switching on the oscillator drill fell to Marty. The drill began turning just before the end credits started to roll. Those folks who feel a little impatient with the progress so far should bear in mind that the new grab hammer will be able to pull up a whopping 11,000 ounces of earth per scoop. If there is treasure down there, they should get to it very quickly. Nova Scotia leader Tim Houston paid a visit to Oak Island. In the meantime, Billy Gerhardt showed he's not only a wizard with a digger, but he's also a shrewd political networker. He managed to arrange a visit to the island of Nova Scotia's newly elected premier, Tim Houston. The position of premier is equivalent to a state governor in the U.S., so this is a man with a fair bit of clout and definitely someone the guys would like on their side. Marty and Rick saw this as the perfect opportunity to show the premier what they've achieved on the island and what they are hoping to achieve. They explained how Nova Scotia's Department of Communities, Culture, and Heritage, CTH, had limited their access to parts of the swamp after finding First Nation pottery. The brothers tried to explain the importance of their work on Oak Island to the premier and stressed their frustration at being hampered by various government agencies. The Lagina brothers seemed reasonably impressed with Houston, who definitely came across as sympathetic to the cause. He kept stressing the need for common sense to prevail and suggested a coming together of people and organizations to discuss a way forward with the current impasse at the swamp. Oak Island team needs friends in high places to move forward. If all goes well, this could be great news for the future, as it's always good to have friends in high places to help smooth out any obstacles that could be encountered along the way. The guys are terrified the CCH will someday try to shut down their work at the money pit, but having Premier Houston as a friend and ally might help prevent that. After years of painstaking effort, mounting theories, and countless setbacks, Season 5 of The Curse of Oak Island finally brings together two monumental moments: a visit from Nova Scotia's highest political leader and the most anticipated event in the show's history, the drill reaching the legendary money pit. For Rick and Marty Lagina, who have invested more than a decade and a fortune in unearthing the truth buried beneath the mysterious island, this moment feels like destiny knocking. And the knock comes loud and proud, not just from the drill's relentless pounding, but also from the boots of a very important visitor stepping onto the island. A politician steps into the legend. The morning mist had barely lifted from the island when helicopters buzzed above the treetops. A convoy rolled in on the freshly maintained causeway. Nova Scotia's premier, accompanied by a small entourage, arrived with a mission to acknowledge the Oak Island team's cultural, historical, and economic contributions to the province. While politics rarely graced the shores of Oak Island, the premier's arrival was nothing short of symbolic, a nod to just how far the hunt for treasure had evolved from wild legend to respected historical endeavor. In a ceremony held beside the war room, the premier greeted the team with a broad grin, sharing warm words about the island's role in boosting tourism, historical research, and even national curiosity. What you're doing here is more than a treasure hunt. It's an excavation of Nova Scotia's soul, our mysteries, our folklore, our pride, the premier declared. For Rick Lagina, whose belief in the island's secrets is spiritual, the recognition was moving. To have the premier here, it's humbling. It means people are listening. The drill that changed Oak Island matters. While the visit was cause for celebration, the real action was happening just yards away. A new massive caisson, dubbed OC1, had been lowered into position over a fresh target zone determined by months of data analysis, seismic scanning, and historical cross-referencing. All signs pointed to one thing: this was it. This was the most accurate shot they'd ever taken at striking the original money pit, believed to be over 100 feet deep and rigged with elaborate booby traps since the 1700s. Cheers erupted as the drill operator, hands steady on the controls, activated the massive oscillator. The ground shook slightly as steel teeth chewed into centuries of Oak Island secrets. Finds and fragments. Layer after layer revealed more than just soil. By 80 feet, the team hit what geologist Terry Matheson described as unnatural debris. Wood planks, some with hand-cut notches, emerged from the depths. Could they be remnants of the original 1795 shaft dug by Daniel McGinnis and his companions? By 100 feet, the caisson struck oak timbers arranged in a vertical pattern, something far too deliberate to be dismissed. Laird Niven, the team's archaeologist, cautiously approached the sample. "This looks engineered," he whispered, running his gloved hand across a smooth beam. The excitement reached fever pitch when the hammer grab pulled up a thick, waterlogged chunk of what appeared to be centuries-old parchment or possibly leather. Marty couldn't hide his disbelief. "This feels like déjà vu. Could it be another piece of the manuscript found in 1897? Adding to the mystery, several iron fragments and what looked like bone shards surfaced in the slurry. DNA tests would be needed, but the find instantly reignited theories that the money pit was once a vault for sacred relics or even bodies. Emotional reactions and renewed purpose. Doug Krell, who has long served as the team's researcher, appeared almost speechless. "We've always worked with theories. Templars, Spanish gold, naval secrets. But now we have structure. And structure means intent." Craig Tester, the engineer whose scientific approach often tempers the team's enthusiasm, broke from his usual caution. "This is as close to a definitive hit as we've ever had." Even Gary Drayton, typically metal detecting along the surface, was lured by the excitement. "We're not just nibbling around the edges anymore. We're deep in the heart of the mystery now, mate." Premier's visit spurs preservation talks. As the drill plunged deeper, the Premier rejoined the team for a private discussion in the war room. The topic: preservation versus excavation. With the potential for national heritage artifacts, perhaps even human remains, being unearthed, there would be a growing need for oversight, permits, and possibly even site protection under provincial law. Rick, ever the romantic historian, welcomed the collaboration. "We want to share Oak Island's story with the world, but we also want to do it right." The deeper they go. By the day's end, the drill had reached nearly 150 feet, deeper than many previous efforts. There was evidence of voids, possibly chambers, and more timber. Rick compared the feeling to standing on the edge of revelation. "It's like we're reaching into the past, and finally, the past is reaching back." The excitement was undeniable. The weight of history, the visit from Nova Scotia's leader, and the very real possibility of breaching the original money pit. It all culminated in a charged, almost sacred energy. What's next? As the sun dipped behind the trees and cast long shadows across the dig site, the team gathered with the Premier for a commemorative photo. Behind them, the massive drill stood like a sentinel over history. No one spoke much, as if words would break the spell. Instead, the silence was filled with hope, tension, and the unmistakable hum of destiny closing in. Because for the first time in years, the Laginas and their crew weren't chasing legends, they were unearthing proof.